welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Reagan and this is my channel Rea Rea Reads, and today I'm going to be doing my July wrap-up. Yeah. So I read 6 books in the month of July, and 4 of those are actually during the reading rush, so I will brush over those not super heavily just because I talked about them in my reading rush, but I will be sure to give you guys the ratings and what I thought about the books. So July was a really busy month for me. I nannied like 3 out of the 4 weeks of July, and I was on vacation for one of them, but I was with my boyfriend's family and their cousins, and so it was like a bunch of friends with us there, and so we really didn't spend a lot of time reading, and I just didn't have a lot of downtime to read as much as I'd like to. One book I did start and get almost all the way through on vacation was Beach Read by Emily Henry, I believe, and I think I made like 3/4 the way through this book. I got really close to the end, but I didn't finish it, and then when I got back from vacation, I wanted to read something else, I think. So I put it down for a minute and I never got back to it. So even though it feels like I read 7 books this month, I technically only read 6. So when I finish this book, probably in August, I will add this in my August wrap up because I finished it in August. But I did read majority of that book this month, which is why it feels like I read more than 6 books. But anyways, let's jump into what I did read. So starting off the month, I read The Truth About Heartbreak by B. Celeste. This was a good book. I heard about this book on BookTube from somebody. I think it was from Makeup and Mary. I will link her channel down below. She's not really a booktuber, but she started getting into more books and she's been posting about books a lot. So anyways, I love her channel. She's great. So anyways, she talked about this book in one of her videos and I was really intrigued. So I read it and I really enjoyed it. This book follows, I don't know who it follows. Well, it doesn't say their names in the summary, but basically it follows a girl who is a orphan, I guess. She's in the system, and this family adopts her and they have a son, and basically she comes into this family. I think she's like 4 years younger or like 3 years younger than the son, and his best friend comes around all the time, like basically lives there, and pretty much they strike up a kind of weird friendship and end up falling in love with each other. But he is like, I'm not good enough for you, like I don't deserve you. And so basically he starts dating this other girl while they're in high school, while he goes off to college, she goes off to college, blah blah blah. 10 years later, he is still dating this girl and he's really tied to her, but it's obvious he doesn't love her, and he really loves this other girl. And anyways, they end up hooking up and he cheats on Isabel, which is the other girl's name, and basically the main 2 characters have to deal with the fact that they cheated and come to terms with like, is it worth it, and do they love each other, and do they want to be together. So this book was okay. I gave this book 4 stars. I think looking back I might have given it 3 stars now thinking about it, but I did enjoy it while I read it, and so at the time I gave it 4 stars, so I'll leave it as it is. But this book was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. But there is a second book called The Truth About Tomorrow, which follows some side characters, and well, I guess I'll just say who it is. So the girl from the first book, later on, towards the end of the book, she ends up adopting another girl because she wants to like do what this family did for her. So she adopts this girl, and long story short, this girl starts having feelings for her adoptive mother's adoptive brother. So kind of her uncle, but like they're not related in any sense of the way. Like it's not even like her adoptive mom's real brother, like it's like her adoptive mom's adoptive brother. So anyways, she starts to have feelings for him. He's kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to have feelings for her too, but there's like a 15-year age gap, and he's just like, this is weird, I can't do this. So he really tries to like deny his feelings for her. He moves to Boston. She ends up moving to Boston by herself to go to some music academy, and he like kind of takes care of her. Anyways, this book was really good. It was a lot deeper, I feel like, than the first book, and I don't know, the romance was just a little bit more forbidden, a little bit more taboo, and it just really pulled on my heartstrings. I just like really enjoyed this second book a lot better than the first book, so I gave this book 5 stars. Next up, I started the reading rush and I read Serending Heartbreak by Ella Mays. Ella Fields, excuse me. I read a lot of Ellas during the reading rush. So I read Ella May's Serenading Heartbreak, and I gave this book 3 stars, I believe. This book is about, wow, there's a lot of brothers best friend tropes in here. Actually, like almost all of these books are. But basically this, oh my god, somebody's literally coming to my door. That was so creepy. He's gonna literally see me when he leaves. I'm so scared. Who is that? It's like a white kidnapper van. He just brought a package to my door, but it's like weird. Okay, anyways. So, Serenading Heartbreak. I gave this book 3 stars. This is about a girl who falls in love with her brother's best friend, and her brother and this guy, his best friend, want to be in a band together. So they start up a band when they're like in high school, but it actually works out, and so they get this like really crappy bus and they fix it up and they start touring, and she loves him, but he kind of breaks her heart whenever he leaves, and they connect right before he leaves, and they both admit their feelings, and they like kiss, and they're like, oh my god, I love you, and then he leaves her pretty much. And so years down the line, she's off at college, and she meets this other guy who is like super sweet to her. I'm pretty sure his name is Aiden, and they really hit it off, and they start like kind of dating, but she's like, listen, my heart really is with someone else, but like I want to be friends with you. So they start hanging out. Well, Everett, the guy from her past, comes into town for a tour, runs into her, and he's like, oh my god, what are you doing with this other guy? I want you. So pretty much it's kind of this huge love triangle. When I went into this book, I did not know it was a love triangle going into it, which is why I was really confused and why I was really not good. I don't love love triangles, so this book was just not it for me. Also, I didn't enjoy this love triangle because I really didn't even like one of the guys, and so I didn't like her choice at the end. And anyways, I just didn't love this book. I mean, it was a good read, it was enjoyable. I like read it in like 2 days, but it just got really dark. I'm so sorry, but I didn't love the ending, and I didn't love it. So I'm gonna give it 3 stars, and that's that. All right, next up, I read To Love Jasonthorne by Ella Mays, and this is also another brother's best friend trope. So when a girl is young, let me just like get her name so I don't sound like a freaking idiot. Except this one doesn't have it either. Okay, this one doesn't have her name in the summary either. But basically, this girl, when she's young, her brother is like 4 or 5 years older than her, and his best friend is like always at the house because he has a really bad family situation. Well, his mother ends up committing suicide, I think, at the beginning of the book, and so he has to be shipped off to go live with his uncle in LA. And so he leaves his best friend, and this girl's like crushed because he moves away. And so anyways, like 10 years later, she's like in college, and she just published her first book ever, and basically she gets a movie deal to make this book that she wrote into a movie, and they're like, we have the perfect person for this role, and in walks her childhood crush, Jason Thorne, and she's like, oh hi, and basically he's like, I want to do the movie because like he wants to see her, and basically they strike up a romance, and it's really sweet, really angsty. Ella Mays is awesome. I gave this book 4 stars. It probably was like a 4.5 for me. I really enjoyed it. The angst was amazing. It was a great read, great book. So 4 out of 5 stars on that one. Last 2 books I read were a romance series, and that was Something in the Way by Jessica Hawkins and Somebody Else's Sky. Starting with Something in the Way, this is about a girl who meets this like construction worker who's working on the house next to hers at the beginning of the first book, and he's like 24 and she's like 16, and basically she's like, oh my god, this guy's beautiful, and she starts to like him, but her sister walks out, meets him, and pretty much like steals him from her, even though they wouldn't have dated anyways, but she just kind of takes him. So pretty much she starts dating this guy, and the main girl's like, what the heck, like you just stole him from me. And so she kind of battles her feelings for this guy, and he's kind of battling his feelings for her, and the only reason he really continues to date her sister is because he wants to stay in her life and make sure that she's okay and protect her and take care of her, and the only way he can do that so is socially acceptable is by being in her life by dating her older sister. So he continues to date her older sister, and that's kind of where the series goes. The first book was okay. I enjoyed the second book so much better. So I gave the first book 3 stars. It was okay. It was an enjoyable read, but I think I said in the Reading Rush vlog that nothing really happened. I got through the end of the book and I was like, nothing happened. Like literally nothing happened. So I moved on to the second book, which is Somebody Else's Sky, also by Jessica Hawkins. And this book picks up like maybe a year after the first book, and there's a reason why for that. Obviously can't say, or it would like really spoil it. But this book pretty much just continues with this storyline, and the main girl is a year older and has lived through a little bit more, so she's a little bit more mature. And obviously the main guy has seriously lived through something else in this past year. So this book kind of picks up where they left off. I really can't say much about it because it is a spoiler for the things that happen in the first book, but basically their relationship is still forbidden. He is still with her sister in the second book, and so she obviously can't pursue him and he can't pursue her, and also she still is 17 in the second book. So that is why this book has a little bit more of that angsty forbiddenness as well. I think I gave this book 4 stars. It was way better than the first one, but still just like wasn't a 5-star read for me yet. I'm currently reading the third book, but I might give up on it because I just don't really like where the book is going. My heart was really broken at the end of the second book. I even teared up a little bit, and you can see that in my Reading Rush vlog. I teared up at the end just because it was so heart-wrenching and just sad, and like I was just frustrated with like the characters. And anyways, this was a pretty good series, and I feel like somebody else might enjoy it. I just like don't really love where the series is going, and I don't know if I'll continue it. I might, we'll see. But anyways, I gave this book, Somebody Else's Sky, 4 stars, and maybe the third book would be 5 stars. I don't know. But as of right now, it's just not for me. So I don't know if I'll continue with it, but we'll see. So that wraps up my July wrap up, and I really had a great reading month. I read a lot of good books. I literally only read on my Kindle this month on my Kindle Unlimited, which I'm happy with because I pay for Kindle Unlimited every month, and some months I don't even read anything on Kindle, so I feel like I'm wasting my money. But I read 6 books on Kindle this month, so 6 books for $9.99 I can do. So anyways, that is all for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!